Hey guys, welcome to today's video. We're going to be going over the Chiefs versus Steelers game, breaking it down for both teams, talking about the AFC playoff implications too. Before we get started though, please drop a quick like and a sub on today's video. That would really help my channel grow. I'd really appreciate that. With that said, let's dive right into the video, and I hope you enjoy. So a couple things about this game. One, blowout win for the Chiefs. Cool. Number two, we're going to talk about the AFC playoff implications. Let's start off by talking about that. So the Steelers moved to 7-7-1. The Chiefs moved to 11-4. The Chiefs stay in that first seed as of now in the AFC playoff race. Obviously, that could change as the rest of the season plays out. But right now, they remain in first place. They moved to 11-4. Now, the Steelers, they moved to 7-7-1. So they're sitting behind teams like the Ravens at 8-7. They're sitting behind teams like the Chargers at 8-7. And more importantly, they fall out of that playoff spot, right? But before this game, they were in that seventh playoff spot. Depending on what happens with Miami tomorrow, they might even fall further back. So the Steelers are going to need to win out, number one, and they're going to need some help to get back into this playoff picture as they move to 7-7-1 on the year. As I said, the Chiefs will keep on to that first seed. Remember, only one team in the AFC gets a bye because there's 7 teams in the playoffs. However, now let's just dive into what happened with the Chiefs. I mean, Patrick Mahomes doing what Patrick Mahomes does. No Travis Kelce due to the COVID list. No Harrison Butker due to the COVID list. A couple guys out for the Chiefs because of COVID. But Mahomes did what he did without Kelce and without really targeting Tyreek Hill either. Only barely any catches for Tyreek Hill. Really focus on Byron Pringle, Derrick Gore, McCole Hardman in the passing game today for Mahomes, but still 3 touchdown passes, over 250 yards, accurate with the football, and was smart with the football too. Made a couple questionable throws, but those weren't, intercepted. And he was, moving the ball downfield and doing what they needed to be doing. But more importantly, this run game was really solid too. They were over 100 rushing yards on the day. They were able to run the football downhill in the second half to really close out this game. I mean, they were up big. It really wasn't, a close game. But, even with Clyde Edwards-Helarie going down with injury, collarbone injury, out for the game after the first half, more or less, and probably out for longer than that, they're going to need Darrel Williams and Derrick Gore to step up. And those two guys really played well. Darrel Williams was over 50 yards on the ground. Derrick Gore was solid in the third and fourth quarter. Had a big 50-yard catch in the first half to set up a score for the Chiefs. But the running game was there. And the Steelers are probably the second worst run defense in the league, so it's good to see that the Chiefs were able to run downhill. But if the Chiefs are able to run downhill against some better teams and continue to pound the ball, I mean, Darrel Williams was good, Derrick Gore was good on the ground. I mean, they were getting 5 to 6 yards a carry, especially in that fourth quarter, trying to ice that game. So if they're able to do that, that's going to be very scary for this Chiefs offense. And then, passing the football, Byron Pringle was excellent. 2 touchdowns on the day. McCole Hardman also had a touchdown, but Pringle got targeted a lot. He was over 70 yards on the day, played very good football, was in the right spots at the right time, and especially that Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill not really contributing. I mean, Mahomes found ways to get it done. Pringle with some catches, Derrick Gore with some catches, McCole Hardman with some catches. So really just spreading the ball around for Mahomes in this offense. And if they're able to run the ball downhill successfully and spread the ball on offense, I mean, this team's going to be dangerous as they always are, and they're hot right now. They're unbeaten in their last, I think, 7. I want to say. I think they started 3-4, and now they've won their last 7 or 8. So they're a team that's playing some really good football, and it's partially because of their defense. Their defense is doing everything right. They're just quicker to the football. They're noticing plays. And overall, they're just getting to the football and making important tackles and not being stupid. Look at Charvarius Ward with an interception today. Juan Thornhill all over the football. Jerry Sneed, their corners in Ward and Sneed really just getting to the football. And then their linebackers are playing really well too. Tyrann Mathieu got a little bit banged up during the game, but overall, I mean, there's solid pass rush. Frank Clark had a sack. When you have a guy as good as Chris Jones on the field, he's always creating pressure, always creating potential for sacks. Just keeping Ben Roethlisberger, off balance. I thought he played well, but I mean, this Chiefs defense is playing really well. They're just on a hot streak right now. They're just getting to the football, and they're just being annoying. And then if you look at the Steelers here, just tons of mistakes. Basically, there was really not a lot for them to do whatsoever on the offensive side of the football. There just really wasn't. There wasn't enough room out there. There wasn't enough space out there. The Chiefs defense did a really good job, and at this point in his career, Ben Roethlisberger's washed. He really is. Before the season, I made a film session video. I was like, Ben Roethlisberger, he's got something left in the tank. He doesn't. He really doesn't. He doesn't make the right reads anymore. Doesn't make the right throws, and when he does make the right throws, they're not accurate. He's not putting the ball in the right spots. Didn't really throw for that many yards today. Had an interception. Najee Harris somehow had over 60 yards on the ground. He looked seemingly was getting stuffed every play, but they just kept feeding him. He got some yards eventually, just because of the volume. But this offense, tons of drops too. Diontae Johnson with a couple drops. Chase Claypool, they need to target him more. He's a really talented, gifted receiver. And obviously no Pat Freiermuth either in this game. He's on concussion list. So there just wasn't a lot of offense for this Steelers team, but they weren't really able to run the ball that effectively. And Ben Roethlisberger is just, at this point in his career, he isn't there anymore. He's just not good at football anymore. So they're going to need to move on from him in the offseason. I don't think the Steelers team ends up making the playoffs. I just don't think they have enough on offense to win big games down the stretch. And then defensively, obviously, they gave up over 30 points. Alex Highsmith and Cam Hayward with sacks. They just were a step behind. This Chiefs team is able to do so many things that it was too much for them. And this Chiefs team is really, really good. But looking forward, the Steelers, I said, they moved to 7-7-1. They're going to have to win out, and they're going to need a little bit of luck, too. They play the Browns and the Ravens in the next two games. They have to win those two games. That Browns-Steelers game, that's basically a playoff game. Both teams, need a win to stay in the playoff picture, more or less. Then you've got the Ravens in the last week of the season. So a couple of big games. Two winnable games for the Steelers team, but they just need to play better football. It's just every single part of their team. They need to be better offensively. They need to be more focused offensively, and then defensively, they just need to rally to the football better. They need to, they're going to be playing against good offenses. Browns can put up points. The Ravens can always put up points. So that's a big thing for them. And then Kansas City Chiefs, looking forward for them. They play the Bengals, tough game. Then they play the Broncos. So a little bit, two games that they can definitely win, but two games that are, not the easiest. But, you put up over 30 points in the past three games. You put up 48 against the Raiders, put up 34 against the Chiefs. You put up over 30 against the Steelers again. So their offense is finding a new light. Their defense has been playing really good football of late. So if those things continue, their run game is maybe trying to get going a little bit. These are all things to look out for as this Chiefs team tries to lock up the first seed in the AFC, something that's definitely they're capable of. So watch out for that. Big win, Chiefs winning this one at Arrowhead by a big margin. Blowout win for them. Good momentum builder for them too as they hang on to the first seed in the AFC. Steelers obviously drop another game. They're going to need a lot of luck trying to get into the playoffs. And with that said, that's pretty much going to end the video for today. Did you agree with my analysis? Why or why not? Leave your comments and thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Also, if you're new around here, please drop a like and a sub on today's video. I'd really appreciate that. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. And until next time, see ya.